This is Rick Casalge from Exercises for Injuries. I'm really excited today to bring you an interview, a kind of a business-focused interview with Jimmy Smith. Jimmy Smith's going to chat about how you can build your post-rehab business using social media. So enjoy the interview, and please leave a comment and let me know what you think of the interview, and if you have any ideas of what any other post-rehab business interviews that you'd like to see. So take care and bye-bye. Hello, Exercises for Injuries blog readers. This is Rick Casalge. I'm coming to you with a little bit of a different interview. I'm going to do an interview with a fitness professional that's using social media, and he's going to share with us how he's used social media to improve his online and offline business. So I'm here with Jimmy Smith. Jimmy, I'll get you to introduce yourself to the listeners.
My name is Jimmy Smith. You guys can find me at jimmysmithtraining.com, and basically social media has rapidly helped improve my business in terms of traffic to it and just notoriety and give me a lot of opportunities. So I look forward to sharing some of the good stuff that's been working for me.
Okay. So, Jimmy, I've heard you talk before about social media, and I know you could definitely talk about it for hours. I know there's a few fitness people that are doing social media, and even fewer fitness professionals that are doing social media correctly. Maybe you can give like 3 things that a fitness professional should do when starting out with social media.
So the first thing a fitness professional should do when starting out is just care. Just care about, don't use it as a promotional piece. Like, I go on people's Twitter accounts all the time, and there are people that are known in the fitness industry for being successful online, and like, all they do is post links back to their products. After a while, that gets really old, and no one really cares about that anymore, and no one wants to see that. So that'll turn you off, because every single thing you do on Twitter, or even any social media landscape, is visible by everybody else. So you keep putting up links back to your site, people eventually see that, and people eventually get annoyed. So the first thing is really give a crap, interact with people. The second thing you can do is make sure you're posting relevant, non-related content. So if you have a blog about injuries like you do, Rick, you wouldn't always go on Twitter or on Facebook or on MySpace and be like, hey guys, here's this article about ankles. After a while, people would tone it down. So I use a website called popurls.com, which is an aggregator of all RSS feeds, and the top stories will be there. I just copy and paste those links in there. And I put it up, and then people, it's random stuff. It'll be stuff like about, one time I did how in the States it was like the day or two before President Obama got inaugurated, and it was about how he couldn't have his favorite beer even though he was going to be a president. Just random stuff like that. So I showed them in person, and the last thing is just be active. Like, don't think you can spend 5 minutes on Twitter or Facebook or any of them. I mean, I know we're trying to scale down social media so we're not on it all day and it doesn't take up our time, we can get stuff done. But, just pop in and out a couple times during the course of the day so people know you're real and people know you're on it and you're interacting, because everything you do appears in the public timeline and people can see it.
Okay, and I know there's hundreds of services that you can use or websites when it relates to social media. What are like the 3 that people should start off with?
Yeah, the 3 people to start, there's so many. The 3 people to start off is everybody needs to be on Twitter. Now, having a Twitter account is kind of like having a cell phone account. It's having a cell phone. Like, you have to have it. And the reason I say this is so many people on it, and there's still, it's still only 7 million people on it. There's not a lot, but just the ability to do so much. Like, I was checking my Twitter stats the other day, the Twitter counter, and out of the 7 million people, I'm number 635 on Twitter because of the amount of followers I have, the amount of updates, my interaction with people. There's a lot of factors that go into it. But they have me listed as the number 43 entrepreneur on Twitter. Now, I'm not saying that to boast, but I'm saying that there's a lot of people whose businesses are a lot bigger than mine that I'm ahead of just because of how I interact with Twitter and what I bring. So everybody needs to be on Twitter, just the ability to connect with people effortlessly. Facebook is the most viral thing ever created in nature, so because of how when they initially made Facebook, they made it that if I post something on my wall and Rick comments, all Rick's people see it, and then I can post back on his wall so all my people see it. It's so interactive, it's so viral by nature. Sure, they have advertising, but you can get so much traffic just from going on there and just talking, and you can post notes, you can tag people in your notes, you can take pictures and tag people in those pictures so all their people can see it. There's so much there. And then the third one, sorry, I thought you said two. The third one is MySpace. I mean, people ignore MySpace because they think it's dead, and their numbers are lower, but MySpace is still the seventh most visited website in the world. And there's a lot of sites that are underneath that number 7. So MySpace is a huge amount of interaction on there because they're doing a lot now. Facebook is actually starting to do a lot like MySpace. They're announcing vanity URLs, and MySpace is still big. There's still people on there, and people there still want to be marketed to. I mean, people would have left MySpace and stopped checking it years ago if they were annoyed with all the promotion that's on there. So you got to get on those 3 ones, and if you're not on the other ones, that's okay. Just make sure you're on Facebook, MySpace, and Twitter.
Okay. And one common thing that people say is, well, what about privacy? I don't want to go on the social media stuff because I don't want people to know too much about me. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's a double-edged sword. I can see if you're like a school teacher, maybe you have a fitness blog on the side, and you don't really want to post too much stuff because you don't want people seeing it on it or whatever. And that's one thing, and you can have your privacy settings set on Facebook and MySpace, but at the end of the day, it comes out, don't post stuff you're not proud of. Don't go and post, don't say random things or scandalous things, or don't post scandalous things if you don't want someone coming back. So the privacy thing, especially with Twitter, and there was an interesting article I saw the other day how someone actually got robbed. It was like the first reported case of social media because the person was always being very, very detailed about what they were posting. They were like, I'm going to so-and-so's house. Or so people knew, and someone actually was following their Twitter account, and then they actually were able to break into the person's house. Now, I say that not to scare people, because obviously we want to promote social media, but the best thing with social media when you're Twittering or you're putting up your status updates on MySpace and Facebook is, sure, say stuff like, I'll say, like, oh, I'm in the dentist. But I'm not descriptive with that. People don't know how long I'm in the dentist. So some people get too much into it and they become too descriptive, and those are the same people that say, well, I have no privacy because of it. You don't always have to post stuff about what you're doing. Sure, when you log into Twitter and says, well, what are you doing? That's the point of it. But I post random stuff. My last tweet was just about how there's a book that's called Mr. T versus Chuck Norris. Post random stuff. Don't be so worried about privacy settings. You're not putting your stuff out there that much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jimmy. Well, fitness exercises for injury listeners, that's a quick interview with Jimmy Smith, kind of sharing his experience on how social media has helped him with his training business and then his online fitness business. So, Jimmy, how can people get a hold of you or get more information about you?
You can just head to jimmysmithtraining.com and you'll find all the information about me there.
Okay, I encourage you to go visit Jimmy's site, and thank you very much for listening to kind of like a business interview on social media. This is Rick Caselge from Exercises for Injury signing off. Take care and bye-bye.